Hi everyone, it's Kelsey back live for DC Birth Doulas here with Anna Fabian from Anna Mateo Photography. We're going to talk a little bit about birth photography and the importance of capturing your story. Anna, I'm going to let you take it away from here.
All right. Hello, everyone. Thank you guys so much for having me. Quick little disclaimer apology. My childcare got switched last minute, so I have my two little ones here with me, my little studio assistants. Hopefully they will behave, but you just might hear a little bit in background noise.
That's just the way that it is these days. I love seeing like little kids pop up in the back of like TV news stories now. It's like my favorite like pastime to watch.
I guess if they're doing it on the TV news, it's okay for this.
Yeah, totally.
But yeah, thank you all for having me. I love DC Birth Doula. So I'm actually also a labor and delivery nurse in the DC area. So I have worked with your team. I've never worked with you personally, I don't think.
But no, not yet.
Not yet. Many, many times. I'm always happy when I walk into my patient's room and I see DC Birth Doula. So I was so happy to be here and to chat with you all a little bit. And as you mentioned, I'm also a professional photographer, weddings and portraits, and videographer. So I sort of
do it all.
You do it all. I actually was a doula a little bit in nursing school as well. So I love doulas. I think they're just so important. And I think all of this sort of combined this year when I started hearing a lot of friends and people in the, mom groups on Facebook and all those sort of things saying, oh, I'm just so sad because I can't have like my doula in the birth room. Right. I can't have my photographer, my videographer, like nobody's available. Like no one can come in with me. Mm-hmm. And I had like always dreamt of having the support system. I always dreamt of having these photos and videos, which I'm sure you guys, this is what you are dealing with every single day, right?
People
sort of having these feelings of, now you can go into some places, but it's always shifting. There's so much uncertainty. And so that kind of inspired me to teach people to do it on their own, which,
that's awesome.
It's like a different, it's not going to be quite the professional experience. It's not going to be the same, but it's, I have realized with like technology these days and smartphones, like it's remarkable the quality photos and videos people can get. And
that's true.
And it just takes a little bit of, I think, education and knowing what you're looking for, knowing how to frame things, what to shoot, like all of those things. So so that's where my course was born, and I just launched it last month, and I've had some like amazing results with amazing results with okay. 1 second, I think I have some relief here for the little ones, so you guys don't hear as many.
Bye, baby.
Camila.
Cute distraction, though. I liked it.
But yeah, so I think that was a big motivator, and I've seen amazing results. It's really, really rewarding and cool to see what moms and dads can do, and parents and partners and anyone can do. They just know have a little bit of background information on on what to look for, what to film. And so then as part of it, I've been doing all of the editing. So it's like a professional edit on these photos and videos. And I also teach about like a newborn session, because I know a lot of people don't feel comfortable
having someone in their house.
Like a stranger in their house with more exposure, with everything going on. And it's just really fun. Like, I think people are way more creative than they know they are.
That's true.
They just need a little bit of guidance, and it's really amazing to see the results, like just what the difference it makes to know a little bit more about light and composition and those sorts of things, and taking a picture on an iPhone or whatever. And not even like the newest best iPhone. Like I've had people use like 5-year-old iPhones, and as people are using really nice light. Yeah, it's really cool to see. It works really well.
That's so awesome. I think that's something that if I was birthing right now, I'd be really interested in, because I think, photos are what link us to memory, and having those photos is really powerful, especially once of your birth of your baby. It's really exciting to have them and be able to look back on them. Because sometimes in labor, we don't remember the things that
Oh
happen all
my
the time. So
gosh.
sometimes it needs to be documented so we can be like, oh yeah, that happened.
Yeah, you know what? Like after I've been doing this and because honestly, I didn't do tons and tons of births as a professional photographer. Like that wasn't really my forte. I've done them, and obviously
Yeah.
I'm like live in the birth world. I love childbirth, but I couldn't ever really reconcile like working as a nurse and doing
Right.
births because of on call and stuff.
Yes.
So doing this, I have been feeling so much regret about not having my own done more. Like obviously I have some photographs and from parents, friends, like
Right.
my coworkers were there when I had my babies and were amazing and
Yeah.
took photos. But I didn't really tell them what I wanted. They didn't really record anything. Like it's just very
Yeah.
different when you go into it with like with the intention of this is what I'm filming, this is what I'm recording. I know like
Right.
that's part of what I teach too, is just like having a game plan so that when you get there, it's like, oh yeah, I need to do this, this, and this. I have like a shot list of ideas. So if you get caught up in the moment, but yeah, I have so many regrets that I don't have my own birth videos. Like I'm a professional photographer, videographer, and I don't even have it. But even the photos I do have, looking back, and just seeing, meeting my babies the first time and
Right.
all of that. I think I felt really self-conscious about how I looked and all the things like in the moment and thinking ahead of time. I was like, oh, I'm not going to want that. I'm not going to be like one of those peaceful birthing moms. I'm sure I'm going to be a mess, so I didn't invest in it. But now I look back on it and I'm like, what? That's so silly because, those are like some of the most cherished moments of my life.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if I was really sweaty or, like whatever, like that. Like I'm so proud of myself thinking back to my childbirth experiences and what my body did and accomplished.
Right.
Photos and videos of that I think are the best way to commemorate it and to honor yourself and what you've been through. And like, it really does bring back those memories, those emotions of, expanding your family, meeting your babies, all the feelings.
Yeah, that's really cool. So in your course, you talk a little bit about like creating a game plan and getting people's brains in the right space, because obviously sometimes I secondhand as a doula, people will hand me a camera and say, hey, can you take some of these shots sometimes if I'm in the birth room, but I don't know anything about lighting. I don't know about the direction. What do you suggest some people be thinking about when they're thinking about coming up with that game plan?
Yeah, so my suggestion is to watch a lot of sample videos.
Okay.
And what professionals are doing. That will give an idea of sort of shot ideas and ways to film things, that might feel more discreet or, depending on the person's comfort level, if they want this to be shared on the internet and they want it to be more discreet, or if they want it to be just personal and they can mind where it's filmed from or whatever. But there's a lot of really, really, really talented birth photographers and videographers out there that have all of the shots you could ever imagine. So if you go on Pinterest or just Google, watching samples is really, really helpful. Okay. And then I think having like a combination of assuming it's not like a super, super fast labor where you're just what's happening. But getting sort of a lot of sort of what we call like B-roll footage, meaning not the most important things that are happening, but like footage of other things going on in the room to sort of interlay with the big events, if that makes sense. So it kind of sets a scene for things. So for the video side, that's really important. And then for photography, just trying to pay attention to lighting, which if you don't know anything about lighting, you could always do like a quick, there's so many resources out there on the internet. But essentially if you can get natural light, that's always going to be the most appealing. So if there's windows you can open, that's great. And if not, just trying to like keep it even, not super, super harsh.
Gotcha.
And then I would say like, if you're going to have somebody edit them afterwards, like you just try not to crop super, super tight. So you can like always crop down, but you can't
crop back out. That's true.
Yeah. So I think those are important. And then just looking for, the emotion, looking for the big moments. And and trying to keep, like, especially if it's low lighting, trying to keep really steady. So like if it's low lighting and I would say play around with flash versus no flash a little bit.
Yeah.
Also, obviously, depending on like the birthing parents' sort of comfort level with flash going off, because sometimes people like don't want that happening as a
really,
so I would say sort of play around with that a little bit and just see if you're not going to use a flash. I always say like use your body like a tripod and hold on like so you can steady it. With filming, the same thing as the tip. So you can like put your arms out and use it as a tripod, and then you can get a more steady or like a less blurred photo. So yeah, I think those are ways people can do it. And then, if you're doing just like a newborn in the hospital, getting them close to like window light, you can pull a sheet or something really white and bright in the background for like reflector. So it will reflect in out the light. So there's lots of like little tips and tricks that you can do. And then if you're like really serious, I do go through everything in the course, but there's a lot of, there's like little like, you can buy a little mini tripod for your iPhone. And so it's all about just coming up with a game plan of like, okay, so I think the hospital room is going to be oriented like this. I mean, most hospitals don't allow like full big on tripods, but you can always ask. But like little ones that you could set on like a bedside table or whatever. And that way you could like get a photo or video rolling while you're taking like, someone's taking photos. Like there's a lot of creative ways to do it. Or if you just want to have the video rolling that way, so you're not, so your partner can like be more present and not be stressed about it. I think it's like important to just sort of think through a lot of different options, because things might change when you get there. Your feelings might change, but having backup plans can allow you to end up still getting really nice coverage.
Yeah. Do you think that there is like, so we talked a little bit before about the type of equipment that you need, and you were saying like it could be an old iPhone and you can still get pretty good pictures on it. Is there one that you're like, this is the type of phone that really the best type of pictures from this one, this works really well, or definitely have a tripod because you think it's going to be useful, or like more just use your body and use things that are in the room with you?
Yeah. So, I mean, I would say as far as like equipment goes, obviously, like if you're in the market for a new phone anyway, and you want to spend some money, like the newest, like the Pro iPhone or whatever is, and those cameras are amazing. And they have all sorts of different like portrait modes. There's 3 cameras on it. Like that's going to get you really good quality. But I mean, I really, like I said, I've had moms do it with an iPhone 7. And so, I mean, I don't know how many years ago that is from, but it's not really that recent.
But I can't keep up anymore. They come up.
No. And it looked really good. So, yeah, I mean, I would say definitely like if you have like a 10, 11 or the new, like the Max Pros, I think they're called, whatever, those are going to get you really, really good quality. But anything from like a 7, 8 up, like it's going to work. And especially like, honestly, it's just really more about how you're using the lighting, particularly like birth. Obviously you can't control. If I had a baby at 4 a.m, like I can't control that. Right. But at least for, you can still try and utilize what you do have. And sometimes, we can put it into black and white, and it still is like, has all the emotion, has everything.
Yeah.
I mean, hospital rooms, if you're birthing at a hospital, you might be birthing in your bedroom, and that's a different scenario. But like if you're in a hospital room, they're not always like beautiful backdrops anyway. So sometimes black and white does really just help you focus on the important part of the photo or video and what's happening. So, I mean, there's a lot of creative ways as like a professional editor that you can go in and really make things look nice, as long as like you get the exposure. And that's really the important thing, is trying to get the correct exposure and paying attention to the lighting.
Cool. So if someone wanted to hire you, how will we find your class? How can we take it? Because I'm interested. Like, I'm nowhere close to having babies, but like this is super cool to me, and I think would be really helpful for a lot of people who wouldn't be able to have that extra person in the room right now.
Yeah. So I have it listed. I've been doing like my whole launch sort of over on my Instagram page. So I do have it listed on my Instagram page. I need to put it up on my Facebook for my business. I don't really utilize that as much as I should. But if you go to my Instagram, and I actually, well, I'll say the name of it first.
Great. And we're back. Yeah. Don't know what happened with that, guys. Sorry about that. Hello. Anna, go ahead. Take it away.
So I was just talking a little bit about how you can find access to my course and what I share, teach about. So I actually launched last month. And I did all of the launch sort of over on my Instagram page, which is Anna and Mateo. So ANNAANDMATEO. And I had a whole week of motherhood actually hosts, including your lovely Sarah.
Yes.
From doulas. So we went and did a live talking all about just the importance of having a doula, especially now, even if it's a virtual doula, because, you know, it's such a vulnerable time to be like a human on this earth, but like especially a pregnant mother or somebody carrying a child, like that's just so, there's a different layer of challenges, I think, and fears and things like that. So we just talked all about ways to prepare and how doulas are important. So if you haven't seen that yet, it's worth checking out. It's saved in my little IGTV, but I have on there as well links to my course. And I have a bunch of other guests from that whole week, childbirth educators, lactation consultants, sleep consultants, like you name it. So I have them all saved in there. So lots of fun resources for moms and dads to learn all about, parents to learn all about childbirth and parenting and, you know, all the things that come along with having a baby. And then I have also in there a link to my course, and it's actually my intro price for, you know, the next little while, because I know finances are super hard for a lot of people with COVID. It's have an intro price that puts it like just under $100.
Wow.
Is like, honestly, you can't even get someone to edit professionally for that price. Yes. So I kind of just want to like give it to as many families as I can right now, and then give people this experience, and then down the road, you know, the price will go to its normal rate. But at least for the next few weeks, I just want to allow people the opportunity to try it out and see, you know, I think really most likely be surprised. Anyone who's done it has been like really surprised, like, wow, I didn't know I could do this. Wow. And it's just like, it's really cool. I mean, I'm used to delivering a product that people really enjoy and love. And you know, that's really fun for me as an artist. Right. I think it's a different sort of gratification to see someone feel like this self-fulfillment of like, I did that. Like, I made this, like I did this video. It's pretty cool. And there's a sample video on my page that if you're in the birth world and you just want to feel good about childbirth, it's so beautiful. The family's really, really sweet that allowed me to share it. And so I think it's good to just be able to see what you can make. Awesome.
Well, thank you so much. I'm going to stop here, see if we have anyone who wants to ask any questions.
Okay.
Before, you can put it in the chat box. There it is. In the chat box below, and ask any questions, and we can see if Anna has any answers for anybody who has questions. And we'll go from there. Sorry about the technical difficulties earlier, guys. Oh, yeah. We can't control the technology. It does what it wants to do.
That's the truth.
It does whatever it wants to do. We try our best, and it just, you know, we can't control it.
Right.
We'll give it a couple minutes. I think I asked all of my questions. Oh, one other question I can think of that.
Yeah.
I'll be waiting to see if anybody has any. So many babies are born in the middle of the night.
Mm-hmm.
Lighting's weird in the middle of the night. I know we talked a little about black and white pictures, but what do you think about like turning on a bathroom light or like hospital lighting, and how to get that to be?
Yeah. I mean, so I think obviously the priority comes down to like whoever's birthing and what that person wants for their ambiance, right? Like, so that's going to be the priority. Obviously, like if you're going to if they're okay turning lights on, like that's helpful for sure, having more light. But yeah, I think really like I can't necessarily say like do this versus do that because every setup is going to be so different. But like if the mom really wants like it to be a little bit more subtle lighting, then definitely could try like some ambient lighting. Okay. With the bathroom. Or like the baby warmer if you're in a hospital or whatever, things like that to get a little bit more lighting coming through. And I mean, you definitely want some light unless you are using like a professional camera and know how to use it to be able to get to just be able to get it exposed. Like I think especially because there's motion happening with childbirth, so it's not like a still frame that you can just like sit on a tripod and then it's going to be like an apple and it's going to be perfect. Like it's better to have some lighting. So I think it's like just worth having a conversation with whoever's having the child and the team who's helping with the delivery and everything like that to see like what's going to happen, what are you comfortable with, and then sort of taking some test shots before everything really gets going.
Before things get super intense.
Yeah. And then if I would imagine if it's like a super fast birth anyway, chances are lights are probably going to be on. Like it's
right. That's
probably going to be just like
true.
Yeah, at least those are most of the births I've been around that are like within an hour or whatever at night. Like it's just
so everything's
there and preparing and whatever. Yeah. So like you're gonna have light. But yeah, that's my suggestion is really just test it out and see what you like and then black and white. My baby was born in the middle of the night. All the photos I put into black and white, but I still love them. I think they're probably even more prettier that way. The hospital wall color was kind of weird. I would have probably chosen even in the day to make them black and white, and there's nothing wrong with that. So,
cool. Do you think that if you're having like a home birth or a birth in a home birth center, you would need to consider anything different, or the same type of considerations you would be to make?
Probably the same. I mean, this goes for hospital too, but if you're in your house, I would just say try to before you even go into having the baby, kind of strip it of which obviously if you're having a long labor, things are gonna get put around, but it just gets a little distracting when there's tons of water bottles or plates or even tons and tons of decor. If you're planning on it and it's important for you to have pictures and you have your tub in your living room or you're in your bedroom in your bed or whatever, I think the less distractors in the background the better, for the purpose of focusing on the subjects, which would be the family and the baby.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We had the same question come up in the chat box. The same question about being.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It is a struggle. But that would be a reason to just go on Amazon and get a little tripod for your camera.
Yeah.
I think they're less than $15. They're really not too expensive.
I bought one from Five Below.
There you go. See, they're there. There you can get them.
Yeah.
And that's just going to allow it would eliminate any shakiness from your hands.
Yeah.
So at least in a lower lighting setting, it's going to eliminate one of the blur factors, which is a person taking the picture, and then the other blur factor would be the actual motion of it happening. But yeah, that would definitely help. And then really just trying to kind of experiment a little bit and see what light looks the most appealing as you're doing the testing.
For one last question that I thought of before we end this, for the difference between taking videography and then taking photography, would you suggest when you're taking a videography for just to set it and forget it kind of thing and just let the thing go, let the camera take video as you are moving around in your space, or do you think it would be better stop video, get what do you think works better?
So that's a bit of a loaded question. I think it depends.
I didn't even notice.
Well, only I guess if some people are much more drawn to video, right?
Yeah.
And they're I want this birth video. So if video is your priority, I think the most ideal thing would be to do one that's a set it and forget it. So get a little tripod and just sort of set one and have it rolling and just try to make sure biggest thing, no matter what you're doing, make sure you have enough space on your camera, on your phone.
Yeah.
But just let it roll and have I think that probably the best way of doing it would be finding a way to either strap it if you're at a hospital to the the rail on the bed or to the bedside table.
Yeah.
But just setting it and checking to make sure it's still running, that sort of thing. And then having a handheld one where you can get some more of what we call dynamic shots where you could get a different angle. So that's going to give you the most professional video quality. to be able, because then as an editor, I can go through and I can kind of get two different angles of the same thing. And like, you also have like a backup in case one of them goes out of focus or something weird happens. So like if you're set on the video, that's the best way to do it. If you want to do like photo and video, which I know is important for a lot of people to have both, again, it's just all about coming up with sort of like a plan and idea, but having, you know, your two cameras again, and then having one rolling for the video and set somewhere, and then, you know, shooting some photos yourself. But so, I mean, there are ways to do it all a little bit. But if you're really, really like drawn to this idea of videography, I wouldn't just set it down. Like I would definitely
have some more dynamic movement.
Yeah, and you know, obviously having the two cameras would be the most ideal, but having some different movement and like even cutting it into clips makes it easy to edit. You know, if you only do like 20-second clips versus like just walking around with it, it's a lot easier to find the exciting moments or like the good shots when it's not just this like 20-minute thing.
Yeah, cool. So, awesome. That's super helpful.
Yeah,
okay. Once again, thank you so much, Anna, for joining us today.
Thank you.
Such good knowledge. I love good photography. I looked at your page. You have such beautiful photography on your page.
Thank you.
So yeah, everybody, don't forget to go check out Anna's Instagram page to find out more about her course. Take it and document your story. It'd be really cool for you later.
Don't be like me and regret it.
Definitely not. Definitely not.
But yeah, thank you so much for having me. And if anyone has questions that come up, you can feel free to reach out to me on Instagram, or I do have a business page for Facebook, and ask me questions. I'm kind of an open book and happy to help.
Yay. Thank you guys so much. I hope you guys have a great week.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.